Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Abroad Show. It's Monday, the 15th of May. It's 2023. We have just concluded round 9. We've just done the player ratings. Big night for all of you tonight. And I'm joined by Pommy, as I always am. Mate, what up?
Hey up. How did long time no see?
I know, right? Where you been, mate?
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Wow. Another loss.
Another loss. Another loss. Another cycle of, what do we call it now? Pain management? Disappointment management? Feelings management? And we wait ever so patiently for the turning point, and it didn't come on the weekend. But what do? We have a game next week,
Not just any game either.
Correct.
I might add. Not just any game.
Yeah. So what are we going to do? Sit here and just willow and just sob our way till Sunday? Is that the move? Or do we just get the fuck on with it? Acknowledge it. Frustrated. We have questions. We're going to ask all the questions tonight. And that's it. Like, well, what can you do? Seriously, what can you do?
Well, I mean, I always look at it this way. I always try and treat myself like I treat the players. And I hope right now, Monday, 7:01, they're not having a cry about it. Do you know what I mean? I hope they're not having a cry about it. I hope that they're saying, right, okay, we lost because of X, Y, Z. This is what's wrong with us. Okay, now it's fixing it. Now it's fixing it. Now we're fixing it.
Yeah. Look, footy, sport, life, it all comes in waves. You could argue that we had a bit of an upward wave at the start of the season. Yes, we weren't playing at our best, but we were finding a way to win. Fans, for the most part, we're attached to the results as opposed to the process. We don't like the process. It's a dirty word for fans, but suck it up because that's what it is. So we had a bit of an upward-ish trend on the ladder, we'll call it. And then the last, 4 to 5 have been a bit of a downward trend. We've come up against better teams who we expect to be improving against. And as we sit at the end of round 9, we're yet to see an improvement against the quality sides, generally speaking. Now, does that mean that's it? That's defined? Does that mean that that's going to be the story for the rest of the year? As we sit here right now, who knows? Who actually knows? The signs might look like it. The signs might look like right now, it just doesn't look like they're able to do it. But knowing how sport works, knowing how it all works, that something has to happen. There's got to be some circuit breaker of sorts. And we hope that it's this week. And we hope that it's the next week or the next game. So, but I'm with you. They've got to find it. They've got to find the damn thing quickly before the season starts really pulling away.
The great Kevin Keegan once said, "We know what's around the corner. We're just having difficulty finding where the corner is." And
like
never
that.
true words, never a truer word spoken. I mean, I think when you take you take the performance and you actually, sometimes you've just got to look at what it is. And a great friend of mine this week sat me down to one side and said to me that there's a teaching philosophy which is catch them being good. Catch them being good. And a lot of research has been into the psychology of children, which, funny enough, reflects on adults. And he says that you can sometimes spend too much telling people what they're doing wrong. Sometimes you've got to say, okay, they're a bad kid. Let's catch the time that they did something right and try and focus that to get them out of the rut they're in. And that's how it feels at the moment, because I think when you break that game down, right, execution fucking woeful, like 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Like that first, I watched the game on 0.5 speed. So just imagine whatever you're suffering, Pom watches it in half speed. so I can pick things up off the ball and for my review. And honestly, that first half is a disaster zone. I picked 10 examples of things we did wrong. I could have picked 100 from the first quarter. Do you know what I mean? It was that bad. And that's the big thing. That's the big thing. It's now they're standing on the shoulder of giants, but they need to climb into the ear. And who can take that leap? And that's the issue. That is the big issue, I think. And it hurts. It hurts because we believe in them. And we know they can do better. And I think that's where the anger comes from.
Correct. I like this from Jeff. We are going to tough it out. The future need not ever be the recent past. Loyal criticism is welcome. Never ever surrender baggers. I like that. Criticism's fine. We have to. It's what we do. This is what we do when we demand more. This is our role as a fan base, right? Demand more. Expect more. Want more. Push for more. Push them to be better. But also there's like a mechanism now for dealing with it all. We have things in place now to deal with ourselves. I thought Saturday night was very painful as an experience, but now as a fan, like, fuck, we've got somewhere where we can come, flesh it out, get it out of our system, and don't let it linger for too much. And I hope the boys have something similar as well. I'm sure they do. There's got to be something at the club where they've got a mechanism where they can move on, but also it's so difficult to not get drawn into the future and not get tied down by the past and to stay present. And I feel like that's a big part of what we're seeing right now. They're just not able to dial it in and stay present in the moment to execute.
I hope the players don't have my coping mechanism for a bad day at work, and that's a 10-minute poo break in the toilet reading Instagram and Twitter, because I tell you what, if they're doing that, I think we know why they're playing so bad. But I don't know. You know the big thing for me is I like to know why things are going wrong, and you can see it, and I think that's what makes me more angry, because it's so obvious. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure what always makes me laugh is if you sat Wheatering down, and we'll just take 2 kicks. I'm not picking on Wheaters, but he's just one that springs to mind. Guarantee if we recreated that scenario in training now, 9 times out of 10, he hits Chin Cutter 20 meters in front of him. And then, the next kick goes forward, and the forward entry looks it looks sexy. And I've heard a lot of talk about forward connection this week, and it does make me laugh, because I'm like, okay, cool. You've got to understand forward connection, though. If you say forward connection is shit, and all the media have talked about this post-game, they talked about it for about 20 minutes. When your forward connection is kicking a ball from 55 meters out of the 50, almost halfway line, it's always going to look shit. But then go back and watch the third quarter when they did hit up that inside ball. There was runners and the ball was coming in closer. They started to hit the targets in better positions, hence the goals, right? So everything is linked. You're only as good as your weakest link, and you can only ever be as good as your highest link, your strongest link. So everything's synergy, everything's cohesion. Hey, look, Pom's doing it now. Cohesion. Even I'm using the buzzword. But the way I look at it this way is we're at war. So, ladies and gentlemen, how I'd like this show to work is, yes, it's fucking horrible. Yes, we're at the wit's end with this team. Some of you are microwaving the membership. Some of you have even cancelled your direct debits. I get that. But this week we are at war with a team called Collingwood. A history, 150 years in the making. And if we're going to come on this show and fucking go, everything is shit, sack Sayers, sack Diesel, sack Voss, your enemy hears you and your enemy sees that as weakness. So this week it's about one thing. We are at war with the black and white side of Melbourne. And you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to fucking die for these boys. And in a conflict situation, when my mate gets shot, do I tell him he's a stupid idiot for fucking jumping out? Or do I pick him up, get him behind cover, patch him up and say, come on, mate, once more into the breach. I'm going with you, mate. And I'll die with you, because that's what we're doing. We win this weekend. fuck me, you'll all be fucking saying, can we have a visit to Penfolds with Sayers? It's what it's about. We need it.
Well, I'm ready. That was great. Let's go. I'm going to play.
Hate guys, man. Hate them.
Of course. We're going to spend some time. We're going to watch the fan cams compilation. We're going to review round 9 pretty quickly, and then we're going to get on with it and start talking about moving on, because that's what we need to do. But I'm fired up. I'm about to bring you all back down. Stand by. Welcome to the fan cams. After the Dogs beat us 11 goals 13-79 to 8 goals 11-59 in yet again another painful watch, another painful experience.
I'm 37 years old, right? The final siren went, and I don't think I've missed my nana and wanted a hug from her for probably 20 years. And she died when I was 16. And you know what? I think the only thing I want in the world is a cuddle from her and just her tell me it's going to be okay. And then, fuck me, didn't they deliver what they've delivered all season? It got a little bit tough, a few mistakes started, and then bang, somehow 20 points. And Terry, we're talking 2018 shit.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? 2018 shit, rudimentary basics, and it was all right when it was 2018. There were first year players and they were just held together with sticky tape. Like, that is, fuck me.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought during the week, let's try and be a little bit upbeat, get around them, don't judge it all 8 weeks in and blah, blah, blah. But again, to have 2 home games in a row where your fans have rocked up in droves and to not kick, or to kick only a goal in 70-minute patches of football, I think it pretty much just sums up where we're at. Just a middle of the road, bang average team at the minute who will be in these type of games and be kind of hardish to break down for moments, but then just probably not good enough, I'd say. So, don't know. I thought the last 8 minutes were pretty damning as well on our midfield group. 3 clearances, 3 goals conceded, and I don't know.
The pattern of what's happening, like the narrative around the club since 2015, I've actually never seen it before with any club.
Right.
I go every week because I love the emblem, mate. I keep saying it. It's all about that monogram. I don't give a shit about anything else. I don't care. I don't care about the board. I don't care about the coach. I don't care about the players. I really don't care. Look at Liam Jones tonight. Does anyone care about Liam Jones? He was your favourite son 2 years ago. No one cares. That's the only thing you care about.
I tell you what, so the kicking issue that you mentioned earlier, just like the way we kick the ball and the problem that's going to cause us against Collingwood, I mean, that's been an issue all year. For whatever reason, it seemed to be happening slightly closer to goal tonight, which I think is probably better. So it wasn't so much exiting the back line as it was entering the forward line. So maybe it's another kick or half a kick closer to our goal, which is a good thing.
How many tackles do you think Patrick Cripps laid tonight? Take a guess.
Oof, I haven't checked. 5.
5. He laid 0 tackles, Terry.
Very, very poor. There's no dare, there's no want, there's no hunger. And as soon as that hunger and adrenaline comes into their game plan, which we'll get to, look what happens. Half an hour of game, and all of a sudden, we look all right.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like that first quarter, those 4, who knows which direction those snaps went.
I feel like every fan is confused.
Yeah.
Like we're all so confused and worried about what's going on.
This guy screaming out, laughing. I wasn't at the game. I said, I'm not going tonight. I said, nah, I'm not. I'm not wasting my Saturday night.
Please, whatever happens, whatever we're here as Carlton supporters, and that's why I'm here, Matt, because I love this channel. I absolutely love everybody on this channel. And, mate, even now I'm getting emotional saying that.
Happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Hope you have a great day. I'm going to see my mum at 9 a.m, take her out for brekkie. And then we gear up for a big week ahead. But yeah, there's a lot of questions and a lot of disappointment, and it all feels all too familiar. So have a good night, everyone. Take it easy. Go Blues. And we're back.
Still want a hug from my nana as well.
I know. I still want to give you a big cuddle, mate. Come here.
Hey, don't worry. The rewatch gave him my hug. Hard dose of reality.
I don't know if anyone else notices it, but I really do think we deal with losses better than we used to. I really do. We've been doing this for years. I've done every single fan cams for about, 3-4 years now. I think barring one in the preseason this year. And I remember at the start having real anxiety about what's to come every time someone would come on, because I'm not here to control what anyone's feeling. But over time, slowly but surely, it just got better. So I just want to acknowledge those that come on. And I don't know if it's because we're just tired and exhausted of yelling and screaming, but I really did enjoy watching it back when I was doing the edit there. Like, fuck, like the articulation is becoming better. So I want to acknowledge that. What happens when we win? That's going to be painful. Carry on.
I think that's probably the sad thing, though. There's an element of sadness. What you said, we're probably used to losing, and that's a dangerous place for any human being to be apathetic to negativity. It's very dangerous. You should resent failure. You should resent anything negative. You should go out of your way to live your life in an area of positivity, and you hiss at the very sight of it. And society is a hard place. Sport is a wonderful thing. Sport is our release from many of our mundane and mediocre activities in life. It's the one time where we get to be superheroes, we get to be warriors, we get to feel part of something that's greater than ourselves. And it's very interesting because the world, you've only got to look at the comments on some streams of people who don't like me, or there's maybe one person in the world who doesn't like Terry. Terry's vanilla ice cream. He goes with everything.
Don't know about that.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place, society. Society is a wonderful place because you can find negativity anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, negativity isn't like football. Football, you see 23 men now coming to get you. 23 men. Unlike life, it's usually faceless burner accounts, do you know what I mean, from mum's basement, do you know what I mean, with too many consonants in the name. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And you know what? This week here is the week where you've got to look at, find it funny when people analyze it. And I love the fact that so many people analyzing the game. You look at the game, and I've seen some weird comments. Third quarter, Carlton played differently. It's factually incorrect. It's the same as the first quarter. The biggest difference from the first quarter to the third quarter is that first kick worked, and then the running ahead of the ball got better, which made the handball happen. And I played golf this weekend with my mate who works up at Melbourne, and he said to me, he found it quite funny when people started talking about the handball, because he said to me, Pom, do you have any idea how hard it is to play this game in handball when the nearest bastard to you is 30 meters away? He was like, do you understand how hard that is? He was like, when people talk about Richmond 2017, fast paced, their entire training in 2017 was improving their aerobic engines. So 4 or 5 people were at every contest and with the ball carrier. He was like, when that happens, it looks great. In reality, That requires commitment, but also bravery. If you're not brave to come off half back and run with your midfielder at the risk of losing it in the back half of the ground, it's not going to work. And that's what you saw. And my biggest issue with this football club at the moment is that F word. And it's not failure, it's fear. It's fear. And fear, I'm a big advocate that fans are the culture. I said it last week. Ignore your monogram. Ignore your Latin motto. Ignore that. The real heart and soul with this football club isn't a player, isn't a past player. Fuck, it ain't a future player. It's you guys and girls in the audience. It's you guys and girls at the game, on the watch along, in Beirut, watching it on a fucking phone. That's the heart and soul of this football club. And when the fear is there with the fans, because fear equals extremism. And right now we've got extremism like sack the club, move to Tasmania. Do you know what I mean? Sack Sayers. Do you know what I mean? Bring my mate in, Doug, down the street. He once played football. He knows what he's fucking on about. When that starts to come in, that's a huge, huge issue. Fear is huge. And that's why we've got to fucking disregard the fear and do what we can do. And Bugsbell, you're right. We can't kick for them. We can't. But we can remove a bit of the fear. We can remove a bit of the fear. We can remove a little bit of the doubt. We can remove a little bit of the fucking negativity. We can literally tell these boys we believe. Because this week, tell you what, people don't understand the importance of this. And it's all right, everyone going around saying, burn the club down. But I tell you what, right now, this week symbolizes a fucking lot more than fucking win-losses. They lose by 60, 70. You've seen the fallout from the media at fucking against Brisbane, and no one cares about Brisbane. Do you know what I mean? Half of their fans think fucking Darren Lockyer is the best footballer of all time. He didn't even play AFL, right? Imagine if they lose, heaven forbid, to Collingwood. Fuck me. That's an easy pot shot. And that is a fucking huge issue. If that happens, I actually, in my heart of hearts, think if they lose, I genuinely believe that they might never recover for that. The feedback, the vitriol from the back of it could be far too much because the club, they're on their back foot now. Heaven forbid that happens. That could be fucking horrendous.
Yeah. This week's for the fans, no doubt. This week is for the fans in the way that they conduct themselves, because it's funny because the club will push away the history in certain aspects. You could argue, rightly or wrongly, there's been a real clear rebrand. We needed to change the way that we did things because the way that we used to do things got found out. Sorry to break the news to you. We cheated. And so we had to change the way we went about things and the way we thought about things. We had an arrogance about us. Sorry to break it to you. So that process of change is painful. Watching them right now is painful. Where I'm unsure of, I'll tell you where I'm unsure of. I'm still unsure as to whether the pain is a sign of growing pains or the pain is a sign of a sinking ship. I'm with you when I watched it again. I was pretty deflated on Saturday night. When I watched it again, I'm with you. That nothing changed in the third quarter other than a little bit better execution. And I hear we could hear in the crowd. Those of you that were in the crowd that are in the audience right now, I'm curious to see if you felt it as well. And let's just take the Harry Mackay kick for an example. You could hear the jitters in the crowd. We were all feeling this, and I would go as far to say as Harry couldn't shut it out because it was so deafening. You couldn't shut it out. The hard part is, as a fan that goes to a game and as a fan that carries this disappointment for so long, we don't start like that. We don't start the game wanting to be disappointed. We get disappointed with the first turnover, then the second, then the third. And then it compounds really quickly to the point where in the second quarter, it was dead silent. And that's why it's so important for literally the first 5-10 minutes to just get some confidence. Like, get us into the game. Bring us into the game with the first 10 minutes. Because if you lose I feel like watching them at the moment, when they lose the crowd early in the game, it just gets louder on them because they don't have us behind them to bring them out of their thoughts and get them back into the moment. You know?
Yeah. When a dung beetle rolls shit, it starts like a fingernail. By the end of its journey, it's almost 100 times bigger than its body. And that just shows you how quickly shit can go from a small bit of shit to a whole big stinking fucking ball of shit. And it's amazing. That's how negativity works, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? The self-doubt, the first kick of the game, do you know what I mean, was a turnover. And it kind of set the course of the rest of the game. And I see 22 boys at the moment struggling with themselves, with where they're at, what they're about. I don't think they're confused by the game plan. I just think simply that it requires some kind of commitment. And you hear players talk about new game plans. Max Gorn made a great comment the year they missed out on finals and then won it, and said that we now see our game plan as our safety blanket. We rely on it. It's what it is. And you've got to remember that your game plan is great. I find tactics are hilarious because tactics are great. You've got to remember that there's another team on the other end as well who their tactic is trying to fucking destroy you. And this week was a real funny one for me because Voss said something that did concern me. And he sounded surprised at how the Doggies work. And the Doggies are one of the only teams in the league who are good, who flood their D50. And they'd done their homework. Go back and watch every spoil they made. If you use your AFL app and click any player with a spoil, it'll bring up their highlights and you can sort it by spoils. They flood the corridor and every spoil went in the corridor. And that's why Carlton got killed in that first quarter, because they took the corridor away from Carlton, knowing that they could bring it back that way. And Carlton reacted to that really strongly. In the third, they used their brain. The only way you can beat a flooded corridor is handball over people. You can't kick your way through it. You have to take the game on. And that takes a bit of balls. You've got to take the contacts and handball it off. And what's really annoying about this football team is, and I'm not making an excuse at all, but when they do it, fuck, it looks good. Yeah. Fuck, it looks good. That third quarter, you could almost believe that they were a good football team. But it's not as easy as when people go, I saw a comment on Twitter and I couldn't stop laughing, right? And me and my golf mates, they all work in sport. We had a real good laugh. Someone had said, why can't Carlton just play like the third quarter all the time? And we were like, oh, fuck. That's revolutionary. That's a visionary. Oh, the club will be wanting to play like that. They'll want to play like that. But in reality, they can't, because of a lot of reasons. 90% of them are on the players. You've got to remember, Voss sets them up, but Voss doesn't say, Waitering, I want you to miss-hit your target by 20 meters. Voss doesn't say to Chincotta, I want you to make this run when we get the ball in transition, but you're not going to be fucking kicked to. You're not going to be handballed to. They're things that the players have to execute. They're the players that have to execute. And there's no more excuses for this football club. You look at their GPS data, they're in the top 10 running sides in the competition. Do you know what I mean? That's fact. So fitness isn't an issue anymore. Now it is literally that one. It's that 1%. It's that intrinsic thing that few people have, even fewer people exercise. And that is what they've got to fucking start bringing out. Because you know what? Before you know it, we're going to be doing this show and we're going to be doing a fucking rebuild if they don't find it. And that is the cold, hard facts. That's the cold, hard facts. But you know what? I don't fucking want that. I don't want that. Because you know what? They aren't bad footballers. At the moment, they're playing like bad footballers. But truth be told, these boys have done it in occasions. It's now fucking finding that belief from every single one. The fucking woman who makes the cup of tea in the morning to the guy that mows the lawn. Finding that belief. Because you know what? There's no better ask in the competition, because Collingwood, hate to say it, playing some damn good football at the moment. And they are probably 2 or 4 rungs on the ladder above us at least. And what a great game to fucking blow off your fucking shitting yourself. What a great game to throw it all away. This is literally a game of pitch and toss with our lives depending on it.
Yeah. A lot of commentary around the game plan and where's the game plan and what are we trying to do. I look at it a little different. I see what we're trying to do. I see us failing to execute what we're trying to do. And for those who came on earlier, and the discussion, and again, there's no right or wrong, there just is. Everyone feels from here to here, from extremely pessimistic to extremely optimistic, and everyone is just in between. But the thing about, people mentioned Teague, he had unlocked us. Well, when it came time to have a structure after he unleashed the shackles, we had to come back to this point where you got to have a structure in place and you have to play some advanced football. You can't just go out there and say, go on, boys, go have fun for 23 rounds. Didn't get us into finals last year. It's not going to work. There needs to be an elevation of the way they play the game and the system that they use. That's where I'm optimistic that it is growing pain, and the painful watch right now is growing pain. The second half was interesting because there were moments where I was watching it and I'm like, all right, yes, muff the kick, or yes, quick handball, but muff the kick. It's that final bit. Now, it just raises a question of what it is. We all just want an answer. I don't know. There is no answer. We're just going to have to wait until it either comes, or if it continues to go down this route, we get to the end of the year and we make changes. List changes, football department changes. Like, that's it. What can you actually do? Tell me what you can actually do. And if you say sack the coach, okay, great, but bring in who? Like, what can you actually do other than that? And maybe that's why this week is an important week, because it could be a bit of a circuit breaker.
Mate.
Because it could be a little bit of history. Could be a little bit of something extra about the game because of how much it means to the fans and how much it means to the club. And it could get their mind off whatever it is and whatever it is that's on their mind, and it could get them thinking about something different to what they've been doing in their lead up. Because it is a 4-point game. It is only for 4 points. But, this is also the team that, really scarred us. So, to dig deep and be able to find something on your dark side and get that revenge against a team that's done that to you, I'd hope that that's what they'd be thinking or feeling.
Firstly, Terry, please never say it's 4 points. At Collingwood, so much more. Collingwood is so much more.
Of course.
It's dynasty building, because all the dynasty sides that Carlton have ever possessed have beaten Collingwood. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the prerequisite. Manchester United, you have to beat Liverpool if you're going to win the title. Have to. Rangers have to beat Celtic to do it. Means a little bit more. But for me, when people talk about the game plan, I don't mean to laugh, but I do laugh, because people simplify it and go, play like Collingwood. And I'm like, Carlton missed 27% of disposals uncontested in their back half of the ground. When you've got a disposal efficiency like that, you could have Clarkson. You could fucking create a dream team. Lee Matthews, Clarkson. You could resurrect John Elliott, change the board and have the old guys you liked. But if you play like that, doesn't matter what the system is. It doesn't matter what the system is, right? If you can't execute basics, if you can't run ahead of the ball, you ain't going to fucking... Don't matter what your system is. Doesn't matter. You could bring your fucking Precious Teague back. Fuck if you're Bolton's, mate. Bring him back. Clarkson, Matthews, Dave from the Dog and Duck. It doesn't matter who you play. When the basics lose you, you can't do anything. If you're a golfer and you hold the ball, you hold the club wrong-handed, you aim left and you aim right with the club, you're never going to fucking hit it straight. The only way to hit it straight is by making an error in your swing. And if you have errors in your swing, it's not repeatable. That's the certain thing. It's like how people simplify it. Last year, Carlton actually attacked the wing more than they did this year in that 8-2. The difference of it was the elite runners with them move the ball in the middle. Move the ball in the middle. There was options for it. Now them options are gone because players aren't running. Players now, and this is a statistical fact, starting to drop back to protect themselves because of where the ball turns over. Carlton's majority of their turnovers are in their own D50. Do you know what I mean? Last week, why it looked a little bit better is we were 20 metres up the ground. It was the second kick that fucked us, usually because the first guy ignored the second kick. So it's one of them little weird things. So now for me, I love sacking coaches. In fact, I think I'm probably the most successful podcaster at sacking coaches. I've sacked the last two very early on. Very early on. I could see it. Now we're at the stage where, do I like this game plan? I don't like anything that requires backline build-up. However, as the game is all forward pressure, makes total sense. It's where all the sides are the most vulnerable. So I'm willing to back it in. Now you've got to give him, you have to, because you know what? People saying season over round 8. I don't know round 23 where we'll be. Could be in the fucking finals. This is the third week Voss hasn't been in the finals as a football coach. So that kind of says to me, I don't think we've played brilliantly all them games. Says he's done a lot better than the other guys he's had. Do you know what I mean? I would say that the big thing for me is that the boys have to execute. And if they can't execute, go out and find someone who can.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think you're seeing a very fragile group of footballers. A very fragile group of footballers who have been battered from pillar to post 7-8 years in this system. Carlton, you said there, Carlton have cheated for their flags, which I understand. All the sides did that then. Carlton got busted. Do you know what I mean? It has been documented. But every other side has adapted to a modern day way. And I feel like Carlton still look for quick fixes all the time. All the time, quick fixes. Look at 2017, Carlton's best finish under Bolton. Bolton later out came out and said, and it was confirmed by multiple sources, right, that he was told to play a more aggressive game plan, that this 100 points was shit. We haven't scored 100 points. That's a problem, right? He changed it. It went fucked up. We brought in Teague. All Teague did was for 9 weeks of the remainder of the season, just took the shackles off and said, go out and play chaos football. He then started to bring in a system. The pressure started to build. Carlton don't defend hard enough. They were a top defending side. Carlton don't win enough contested possession. Remember Lee Matthews' quote in the second last season? Carlton are a fraudulent football team, that they have 4 of the best winners of a contested ball and they don't do anything with it. Carlton suddenly started to play real contested football under Teague, ultimately his demise. It's always quick fucking fix, right?
Correct.
So someone at the end of this season has to fucking make a decision, right? And this is, I'm going to shelve, sack the board, sack the coach talk till round 23 is done and
Correct.
dusted.
Put it there for a bit.
No, and there's
Correct.
a reason, because then someone's got to go into that club with a fucking brain, with some respect for this football club and go, this is the plan. And guess what? Fuck everyone. This plan is going to be stuck to no matter what fucking happens. No matter what happens. If fucking Nathan Buckley is in the radio going, oh, Carlton don't fucking switch the ball. Fuck him. We don't switch the ball. That's what we're about. But we need a fucking identity, Terry. And I see it weekly with these boys doing something different where it's almost like they're appeasing the media. When my mate texted me after Cherry's interview that he looked like he was going to vomit from fear, that tells me everything I need to know about my place in the Carlton community. They are already vomiting. They are already shitting themselves because they're reading the papers, they're going on Twitter and stuff like that. So boys, if you're listening, fucking we believe in you. This anger isn't because we hate you. It's because we fucking believe in you. You are going to go out with 70,000 Carlton fans on Sunday and play a team that fucking hates you. And I'm going to be honest, look at Collingwood's list. Is there one likeable twat in that list? Probably not. Go out there and fucking bring it home. Because I'll tell you what, there's no one in this league who fucking deserves it more than we do. We've seen some shit. I had a beer with my Richmond mate, right? And he can't understand how shit we are and how we keep doing it. right? He can't understand it because they don't get it. They don't love anything as much as we love this club. So fucking go there and bring it back. Go and bring it back for us.
Yeah. It's painful. It's unacceptable and it's not good enough. But overall, we can't act in a way where we throw the toys out of the cot the same time this happens, the same time we're challenged. This is hard. We're in the hard part now. The hard patch of the season has arrived right now. We're living through it. And
nothing's worth having in life that isn't hard.
No, correct.
Right? Is it
correct? It's not
pack,
worth it.
Mate, a 6-pack. You can't just fucking go to the gym once and get it. But 6-packs look fucking good, don't they? Everyone wants one.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone wants one, but it's hard work, it's sacrifice. It's fucking hard to get one. Because if it was easy, everyone would have one. Right? Do you know what I mean? Being in a stable marriage with beautiful kids, not everyone has it because it's fucking hard, Terry.
Yeah.
I hate my wife as much as I love her at times. It's hard, but you know, the payoff is fucking rewarding, right? Everything is hard. And for those asking me about Bruce Matheson is the biggest self-serving wanker fucking of all time. Imagine loving this football club so much and your family being steeped in its history that you have the balls to kick it while it's down and do fuck all about it. And that is the problem with this football club. Too many self-serving, odious, about-me wankers that want to take it away from you, the people, and make it about themselves. Bruce Matheson wants a car parking fucking icon that says B. Matheson President. That's what he fucking wants. He doesn't really care about flags. He doesn't really care about you or I. He wouldn't even know what fucking the inside of Coles looks like because he probably gets some dickhead to buy it for him. So fuck the Mathesons. Fuck them all, right? The next president of this football club better be a guy that I have a beer with because anyone who makes their millions from fucking pokies is an absolute tosspot and should be burnt at the stake, knobhead, so he can get fucked, right? This club is about us. We're the fucking people. We are the people. I'm sick of hearing about these dickheads who wear suits to dinner. Fuck them. They're not my people.
Up and about, mate. It got me going.
This is war, Terry, to me.
This
isn't
no, but also there's
else.
no. Listen, there's something to be said for the past, and this. I understand what we were and what we built. The harsh reality is the last 28 years do not actually matter on on Sunday. They don't matter. Bruce can feel however much he feels. I don't remember the last time I heard or saw him anywhere really. To take that phone call from the media, and anybody who took that phone call from the media when the club was struggling this week and decided to make a quote for the mainstream, knowing exactly that their name would be printed like that at this point, says a lot about what happens when things get hard and what you resort to.
And there's a few of these names. Just wait for Carlton to do shit so they can put their shitty little thoughts down.
And I told you so, and I picked it, and I've been saying it for years.
If you're one of them people, write your thoughts down on a piece of paper, right? My address, you can PM me, I'll give you it, but you just write the address to the left-hand side. And then what I want you to do is get an envelope, right? And fold it half again, one more time. Just ram it up your ass, because that's where the fucking opinion deserves to be, right? Don't fucking air it. Because at the moment, I see my team fucking crippled at the moment. Couldn't give a shit about the board. Like this talk about the board, you've got me on a rant here, Terry. What do people think the board do? Honestly, what do you think the board do? Legit, what do you think the board do? Right? A good board, I work with a board of directors, right? The good ones just put people in place to do it. And they just sit there. And you know what they do? Every fucking December, they pay themselves a little fucking bonus for my hard work and my team's hard work and then the other department's hard work. That's all they do. That's all they fucking do. That's all the board do. In a football club that is technically owned by the AFL, it does even fucking less because no cunt's got any money into the club. The AFL filters it down through the equalisation system, right? In reality, all you need, one of you guys could do it. Just pick a guy, back him in, and go, you're in charge of the football side of things. Oh, you're the caterer. You're in charge of the catering. That's all they fucking do, right? They don't do anything else. They don't magically come in. You get Elliot's fucking son in. He's not going to come in and make us 95 Carlton. You're high if you think that's going to happen. I would actually say Elliot would be the worst choice as a president of this football club because the pressure of his old man's there. And every day you're going to go like this. John Elliott didn't do that. Elliot didn't do that. It's going to be worse for him. Look at Jack. Everyone says, why can't he play fullback? Because his dad did. That's what Elliot Jr. is going to have. So in reality, I don't care who is the chairman. Don't care who the president is. What I really want is people in their place doing the right job and then being given the backing to what goes on the board and what happens. That's what really needs to happen. It's what good, successful football clubs do. That's what good, successful football clubs do.
Right. Let's circle back. I feel like I blinked and it's 7:45 p.m.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's so fine. Okay. The reserves. Let's go there. I guess we're done talking about round 9. So we'll leave that there. We're a bit all over the place, but that's okay. What is happening for this week against the Pies from a reserves/availability level that you think is going to help us win this game this week?
If I was coaching in this, I'd play to my strengths. They're doing very well. Contested side of, they've got one of the best contested footballers, a specialist, Tom Mitchell. He's a genius at what he does. And it's no surprise they're going better in that avenue. Carlton have got to think, right, we're vulnerable. You've got to make it ugly. You've got to take away that free-flowing football and say, you know what, we're a better ugly football side than these guys. You make it hard. You make it honest. You make it tough. You make it tough every game. And that's what I would be saying to these boys. I'd be saying, I want no fucking heroes today who are going to take 60 fucking meter fucking cross-field kicks like last week. This week, you come in, you fucking scrap for every ball. I want players covering every blade of grass as if their life depended on it. And that's what you do this week. And you fucking make it hard. And you ask them, how much do you want it? How much do you want it? Because we want it fucking more. We need it. Pies are already, 8-2? They don't need this. We need this.
So who are those people?
Honestly, it's a tough one, isn't it? Who would you bring in?
I'd actually, whether this is a contradiction for what I've said over the last few weeks, I'd bring in Jack Martin. Bring in Jack Martin because one thing about Jack, he can use the ball under pressure, going in, kicking the ball inside 50. Yes, he has inconsistencies, but I really would consider bringing him in for this game. I'd consider bringing in... I don't know if Ollie will stay in the side.
Do it. Do it, Terry. I know what you're going to do.
Bring in Zach Fisher.
I knew you were going to do it.
No, I'm not sure about it yet. Seriously. No, dead serious. I'm not sure about it yet. I mean, the hard part about what happened over the weekend was that the VFL, like the reserves of the reserves, played against the under-18s. We had a lot of AFL listed players that didn't play. Fisher was one of them. Dow was another one. It's hard to get a read on what decisions you can make for this week, you know?
Tough one, isn't it? I mean, the only one I had in my head was just purely because the back line was poo bucket.
Yeah.
in ball movement wise, and that's imperative to what Voss is trying to do.
Yeah.
Is throw Boyd in and say, look, take the game on. But I want a bit of culture in this game. People who get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Correct.
I think Hollands is due a rest, but Hollands is you and me. You know what I mean? Like when I asked him the question when I did my draft preview, what's your dream as a footballer? It was to win a flag for Carlton. It wasn't like the others win a flag. He specified this club. Had to be this club. So part of me wants him there. So whether that's as a sub role, I think if they are going to rest him, give him the sub. Because I think that them legs and that speed turn me on. Part of me wants Chincotta there, though, because he's a mongrel and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It always is. So you definitely want players with that balls to get dirty. Because if it's going to get dirty, I want some fighters there. I want some fighters. So Jack Martin maybe isn't enough fighter for me. He did all right, but he was playing against under 18-year-olds.
All right, I've got my thoughts again. I'm back on track. Of the list, if you're Voss, right, how many players do you think are on the list that are there because they're just there because they were there when he got them there? Like, I'm really curious to know how many of them actually, as a collective, suit what he's trying to do. And this kind of goes back to that cycle of sack the coach too early, you bring in a new coach, new philosophy. This is why it pisses me off so much when people say sack him now, because I don't know if he's got everything he needs to do what he wants to do. We're too impatient to let it happen. But at the same time, we need to show progression moving forward to get closer to a premiership. And I feel like there's probably 6 or 7 of them on the list right now that we just don't get anywhere near enough from, that are likely to probably not be there moving forward. And so you kind of got to make do with what you will. And that is where I think Brian Cook was, what Brian Cook was alluding to last week.
It was a very good, and I don't think many people have picked it up, Terry, but I thought it was very good. Honestly, I think just of the players that have played, right, who have played more than 2 games for this football club, I would say in reality, if you sat Nick Austin down over a beer and said it would go no further, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, I would say, in his world wouldn't be best 22. They're there as backups. But they are somehow in the football team. And that's either because of injuries elsewhere or because other players see grass and shit themselves at the moment. It's funny, but I think that there is definitely 6 to 8 players that in an ideal world we'd have. But these are all hypotheticals. It doesn't like... I hate talking about the coaches. I hate talking about the board because it's not going to fucking help us Sunday night.
Sunday afternoon, exactly right. Sunday afternoon. I saw a few comments in the chat today, and I was at work today, and everyone's giving me shit. What happened to Carlton? And we do a tipping competition at work. By the way, I am one of 2 people at work that actually follows the football, which is madness in a Melbourne-based workplace. And a lot of them were saying, I told people last week, no, don't worry about us. We're in trouble. This week, for some reason, I've built up the courage to be pretty confident about the Pies. Now, that could just be the cycle of someone who's completely lost their mind. I just fail to believe that what we are seeing over the last 4 to 5 games, take out the West Coast game, so 4 of the last 5, I fail to see how much more lower it can get before it starts to turn around. There's something something different about it. I don't know. And again, I will take the point that I may be insane. I probably am. You've all watched it week by week for 5 years. You've watched 1 week at a time, either a decline or a bit of resilience. But for goodness sake, we need a circuit breaker, don't we?
if you don't believe, it's always a worrying thing. If you don't believe in the best, there's no point doing anything in life. Like, it gets tiresome. It gets to, I mean, it gets tiresome that people critique people. It really does. Do you know what I mean? I've seen more pot shots this week about different podcasts from other podcasts than I have anyone actually address the real fucking issue. Why can't Carlton hit targets? Why can't Carlton execute the basics? They're the problems Uncle Pom gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Pom doesn't give a shit about anything else. I don't care what Terry said on his review. I don't care what Joe said on his fucking preview. Couldn't give a fuck. Because what is actually going to win me football games and make me happy is Jacob Wheater hitting a fucking 50-meter target fucking more than once a game, right? That's what I actually care about. That's it. How everyone else chooses to celebrate this mighty football club, couldn't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, we're all in it together. So whether you fucking are blindly thinking we'll win by 40 or think we're going to lose by 200, that's your call. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I am here to say, though, that we all fucking want to win Sunday afternoon, and we all want to fucking win a flag, do we not? And we might have different ways, but I want to fucking win. Do you know what I mean? And I know one thing. I'm going to see 23 of my men wear our navy blue, and they're going to go to war with Collingwood. And I'm sure as shit not going to fucking tell them that they're going to lose. I'm sure as shit not going to say, don't bother coming, boys. Because if you're saying they're going to lose by 100 points, I want to see no fucking negativity if they lose by 40. You're only allowed to criticize them if you hope that they can win. Because that's what they need to go in. They need to go in there and say, we can win.
Yeah.
And if they're not, fuck me. Let's just wrap it up now. Call ourselves the fucking Australia show or something. Just chat about current affairs.
Yeah, there's a lot of a readiness. There's a lot of a readiness to attack when a sentence from a 15-paragraph article is put out online. Case in point, Brad Lloyd's comments. They picked one of them which didn't look good in isolation. They put the quote. I can't remember exactly what it was. Put the quote to the article, but the quote didn't look very good. Right? I actually read the article, and he's literally saying it very clearly. Very clearly, we want to play finals. We're here to play finals. We think we've got the personnel. We think we've got the structure and resources. So we want to play finals. But for some reason, it's like we're waiting for, and is that just part of people? Is that just a human thing, you think? You think we are so conditioned as human beings? Because I say this all the time, the dirty little secret, and the reason why mainstream media is mainstream is because it caters to the masses. That's because the masses have a pleasure, a guilty pleasure in failure, or a guilty pleasure in fear, or in negativity, or in anger, or in scandal, or in watching something fail and crumble. Not many are willing to see beneath what's actually happening, and that's what makes it so difficult, especially when you're doing a show, you're creating a platform. All opinions are welcome. All opinions are welcome, but it's the basis from which they are formed, which I find really difficult to sift through.
Mate, you know what fucks me off the most as a POM is when people just totally piss over the beautiful language that we gave the world. Do you know what I mean? The one good thing we gave the world, aside from me, it's probably our language. It's fucking everywhere, mate. And all three of them have said the goal is to play finals, which last time I was at school, which is going way back, but
Yeah.
I always thought goal literally meant it was the object for what your aim or desired result is, which means the end of the road. Do you know what I mean? Your goal when you go to work is to turn up at work alive, right? And everyone going, Carlton don't want to play finals. All three of them have said the goal is to play finals, which means that's the desired result. Like, if you don't understand what goal means and PM me. I've used this language for 37 years. I'm pretty good at it. Like,
There's a
fuck
fine, yeah.
me. It flags my head.
There's a fine line between being. I think my observation. There's a fine line between being angry and critical at the club, and using sport, using the club, using your love and passion for the club to take out the frustrations and the failures in your own life on somebody else for not doing their job. When if you looked in the mirror, you'd realize you probably have the same criticisms of yourself, but you haven't been able to actually do that for yourself in fear of doing that. I notice a real fine line with that. Call me soft.
Honestly,
Call me
sometimes
soft.
you all love
But I believe.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, call me soft. But I believe. I do.
Mate, I think you're right. I mean, I actually felt sorry for Chera because Mrs. Pom, I know you all love her, but she's pretty good at taking what I've said and deriving a total different version of events, right? So I actually understood Chera because Mrs. Pom does that to me a few times. I'll say one thing and she'll take it in a new fucking version. And I'm like, fuck are you on about, babe? That's not even what I said. So it's weird. And yeah, I mean, like, I never like words. I've been on this show many a time. I remember having the COVID rant about Liam Jones. And for those who remember it, when I said all these people saying that Liam Jones has to take it if he cares about the community, let's see where we are in 2 years and see if you're still posting about social justice then, or if you've just done it because it's niche. Words are words, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you say I love you or I'm sorry. It's the action that makes the words real. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Chera could come out and start singing freaking the Fugees. I don't give a shit. Just win games, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Win great games. Put situations in place to win it. So, like, for me, Jesus Christ. Like, you're not soft, Terry. Like, fuck me. That word is amazing because genuinely the person who uses soft, tell you what, if I took them to a bar back home, they'd probably fucking cry in the corner. Do you know what I mean? Let's see how hard you are when a right hook fucking hits your chin. Do you know what I mean? It's very easy to say soft, but fuck me. Everything's soft nowadays, and I thought that word was banned.
Yeah. We're in a hard spot. We're in a hard time. We're in a tough time. Tough.
Do you remember the old saying, penny's mightier than the sword?
Penny's mightier than the sword?
Is mightier than the sword.
No, tell me about
you know that saying. They always say the pen is mightier than the sword. It was wrote by someone in like the 16th century who actually refused to join up to see action to protect his country. So it's a complete cop-out phrase. My pop used to say, you try telling me a biro's important when some bastard Nazi's shooting you with a machine gun. He was like, you tell me how strong the pen is then. Words are fruitless. Actions are everything. And for me, that's what you need to focus on at the moment. And that's what I'm pushing this club for. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the talk about presidents. It's just going to be another boffin who went to Emma's College, who probably goes to church once a week. He has the relatability of a fucking Christmas tree. Like, it's just another melt, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. I care about you bastards who are either for or against it. And, you know, people say this, oh, they haven't given us any reason. They haven't given us any reason to believe in them. Have they not? Hasn't this over 100 years history taught you that there's something fucking great about being part of Carlton Football Club? Doesn't the smell of Icon Park, the shitty little splinter seats, doesn't this show the hard work that every podcast makes, Prendercast, My Blue Heaven, the Cheer Squad, us, the Carlton Show at the start, doesn't that tell you that there is some belief there, that there's some love there? Do you know what I mean? That there's some real fucking something deeper and linear. That doesn't give you faith and that's not worth protecting. Do you know what I mean? Carlton is Carlton. That should give you some love. That should give you some faith and a reason to cheer and believe. Because this club is greater than 22 men out there on a Sunday afternoon. This club is greater than the fridge little magnet that is Michael Voss. Bigger than Hansen, it's bigger than Russell, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you. Fuck, it's probably bigger than Jesus. probably more people fucking go and see Carlton than they do go on church on a Sunday. Tell you, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. And also, there is also another bit of reality. We're supporting this team till we die, right? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. The players will come and go. This group will either do it or they won't. The next group will come. They'll either do it or we won't. We will remain fans of the club and supporters of the club. As much as we say, I'm done, I'm at my wit's ends. If I don't win this week, I'm done. I've had enough. The joy's been ripped out. We will stay. And that is why it's special. That is why it's special. And Sunday is, it's actually a little poetic, isn't it? Carlton in the lowest of lows, Collingwood in the highest of highs, at the MCG, the Coliseum. It's going to be, I think people have forgotten how hot it's going to be because it's personal this week. It's actually personal this week. I would think for the players, well, definitely for the fans, to have to sit there and have copped what we did since August 2022, the last week in August. And that's where I think a circuit breaker, that's where I see something different in the lead up to a game than what we've seen over the last few weeks. So maybe we're going to
say round 20, that game you reference is probably the start of this mental fragility.
Yeah, agreed.
Like Sydney Geelong.
Yep.
Right. This is it. This is it. This is the chance to fucking right the wrongs.
Well, you know what's
These guys.
You know what's the most powerful part about this Sunday? And this is why I would hope the boys don't have a fear of losing to Collingwood. How much more painful a loss could a loss be to Collingwood than what we saw last year? In actual fact, it's probably a silver lining. That is the worst possible way emotionally to lose to Collingwood because of what it meant out of finals, everything that was on the line. But it's done now. It's out of the way. It doesn't get any worse than that. So what's there to fear? You've already lost to them. They've already broken your heart in their moment. That you can only rise from that moment. That was rock bottom. That was one of the most painful moments of our supporting lives. And I think it can be used. I think it can be used for serious motivation this week. We've already lost to them. There's nothing that they can do to us that they haven't done to us before.
Mate, pain is something that they should be used to by now. Like, I tell you what, if these boys aren't loose to taking an L, fuck me, I don't know what they're going to be used to. But, mate, this game means so much more. It means everything to them. It means everything to us. Stakes don't get much higher than this. They don't get higher than this. And you know what? Remember my pop saying to me, he bought a ball once. It's probably the best team talk I've ever had when we were playing soccer. But he was like, I paid £200 for that ball, and they're playing with our ball. And what will you 11 gentlemen do if someone stole your ball? You go out there and you fucking kill someone and bring it me back. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? They're playing probably with with the respect we crave. We want to be where Collingwood are now. We want to be fucking top of the ladder. We want to be the fucking talk of the town. So you know what? Go out there and fucking take what's yours. Because you know what? No one gives you anything in this life without asking it. No one opens the fucking door for you anymore. You know what you do? You go out there and you fucking take it. You kick that door until the door will open. If the door doesn't open, you kick the door fucking in. That's what you do. And you walk through there and say, this is my fucking house. Let's do it. Let's take it back. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just have a feeling this is a bit of a rogue show. It's more of a hangout than a Blue or Broad show, but I'm loving it. I'm going to put a link in the comments if anyone wants to come on and just, I don't know, talk a little bit. Come and join us. I'll put the link in the comments for a round. If anyone wants to come on, we'll come on and then we'll end the show after that. But yeah, give them one more chance. One more chance. What's one more chance going to do? It's the only way to remove the curse. Go back to the scene of the crime and right the wrong. It's the only way.
as my pop used to say about his beloved Man United, right? Whenever they lost, he always used to say, your sports team is like the old boot in the back, referencing my grandma.
Yeah.
He was like, sometimes you're with it for so long that you've got to stick with it no matter what. And do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you've chosen Carlton. You're stuck. You're stuck. You can't change your teams. They're the worst human beings in the world who change their teams. You know what I mean?
Especially after the age of 14.
I can't wait. This is career defining. This is massive. It's weird because, do you know what I mean? Carlton, imagine your mindset if Carlton won last week, going into this game. You'd feel a little bit better, wouldn't you? You'd feel a little bit safer. I love unsafe, though, because unsafe means you do something heroic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm about to be joined. Where is he? Christian.
Hey, boys, how are we?
What's on your mind, mate?
Well, all I'll say is that I'm actually, if I've learned anything following this channel, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people say that they were born after the year 2000, so they feel the rivalry more with Essendon. It's a narrative I hear quite a bit. I don't know why. I was born in 2001. I've never felt that. It's always been Collingwood. So I was there around 11 last year, and I was there around 23 last year, and I felt every single moment of those losses. I've felt it. It was all I could think about in the off season, all I could think about going into this season, and yeah, the Carlton Collingwood rivalry, it hits different to me, and I would hope that now after last year it hits differently to everyone else as well.
I think it might have unified us all. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this generation didn't have a heartbreak story with Collingwood, did we?
No.
Where it meant something.
No,
Good point. Very good point.
It's interesting because a few people have mentioned it, and you look back on last year, it was the exact opposite going into this game. We were sitting 8-2. We were on top of the world. They'd lost to West Coast. I think they were they 5-6, 4-5? I don't remember exactly, but I remember we all went in. We're like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win this game. We're better than Collingwood. We probably were. We didn't, did we? I still see that Silvani ball when I close my eyes, and I think, oh, I was ready to go off. We all were. And all I can think about, honestly, and like I know, all I can think about is Charlie putting one through the middle and just turning to the Collingwood fans and giving them as the siren goes. That's all I can think about, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well,
that's my dream.
That's what we're all hoping for this week. Yeah. No, mate, thank you.
There's something magical about this game, though, isn't there, Christian? Because I think that Collingwood are probably the most active on social media as well. Good mate of ours, good mate of mine, old Swoop Luke. He's like a proper Collingwood fan, isn't he? Because he's actually all right off camera, but he does give 10 out of 10 on the wanker scale, doesn't he? Like absolute massive bell end vibes, and I like the guy. That's probably why I like him, because I probably have the same vibes to them. But there is something about them in it, because your enemy is always reflective of you, and they are probably us in black and white in the terms of they hate losing, they love winning, they worship their history, they hate us. So it's a perfect storm. It's a great game. It's a great game. If this doesn't get you up and about, fuck me, you're probably dead.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the games I live for. Like, I don't know about you guys, but the rivalry games, they're the ones that I live for. Like, they're the ones that I want to be a part of. You want to be there. You want to be in that atmosphere. You want to, because at the end, it's all on the line. Like, it's either the worst of devastation or the highest of highs. And I think that's what makes it so special. And when we win on Sunday, we're going to feel the exact opposite to what we felt last year.
Love it.
When? Love it.
Love it. Love it. Nah.
I'm at work today. I'm getting shit spoken to me by Richmond fans, by Sydney fans, and I'm thinking, no.
Not having it.
Just no.
No. It's good
I
stuff.
Walk back into that office after Sunday and look at all and say, what now, huh?
Yeah.
What now?
Good
Come on.
stuff, Christian. Mate, thank you very much for joining.
No worries at all, mate. Thanks for having me.
All right. Cheers. Yes or Jimmy?
Yes, or Terry. How you going, Pommy?
Well, while you two speak a different language that I don't understand, you right? How you doing?
That's a Greek thing, mate.
It's a great thing. Oh, mate. It's been painful. It's been painful, but I've got this gut feeling they'll get up this week. They have to. I mean, what's left? Really?
How many times have we seen this situation, like where they've been, like, what more can be said? What more can be said about what's not happening before it starts to happen? You know, like how much more down the rabbit hole can it possibly go?
Yeah, I just hope they put up an effort and take it to them. Even if they did lose it, they don't get done. But I think they'll get up. I think they'll get up on it. They just have to, short of Voss pulling on the boots and jumping on the field himself to get them fired up. You know, it's got to happen.
And if they don't, well, we'll do it all over again, mate. We'll be angry. We'll go through the cycle. We'll be disappointed. We'll be devastated. We'll cop the shit. We'll turn up, talk about it, and go back to the next week. The story will continue because we're doing this till we die. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, you'll be here till you got like 2 kids hanging off you and you're going balding like the rest of us. You know, we'll all be here doing this still.
Got to find a mother first, mate.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It descended to chaos, hasn't it? Already it's descended to chaos. Now you're right, Jimmy, though. I mean, this is it. This is it. You know what I mean? The club's been through worse times.
Yeah.
The club has probably seen a lot darker days than this, and it probably, dare I say, it will see darker days than what we're seeing now. You'll also see some light days, but you know what? This dumb bastard and my Greek colleague here, Tez, we will be fronting up until we're either cancelled or we're dead.
Well, I mean, the club is aware of you guys. You know, they know of the social media channels and all that. So
they're aware of everything, mate. They hear it all. They hear everything and they watch everything. All. Of course, it's their job too, and we make it easy for them to make them understand what the fan sentiment is. We make it really easy for them. We spell it out really clearly. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
off-season content, we could do like a farmer wants the wife, Tez wants a wife. You could get the married guys. You've got like Gav Whelan and stuff. We could be the judges. What a concept. I'm a genius.
Interesting. Reality TV. We've gone from war, the Colosseum,
to finding your wife.
Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy, love your work, mate. Thanks for joining.
No worries, those guys.
All right,
cheers, Jim, mate.
Thomas.
Terry, how are you?
Mate, I think we're up and about again. We're ready.
You're about as confident as my 12-year-old who's just left the room.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, last year, he made me go to the footy where I haven't really wanted to go. Because those first 11 rounds of the year, he was excited. And for a 12-year-old that fell out of love with our team, those first 11 rounds last year, we were up and about. The Sydney game that we won on the Friday night, the Fremantle game. All of his mates are Collingwood supporters. All of his mates are Collingwood supporters. And it's hard for us to get up and be, ready for it. Do you know what I mean? And copping it today at work, all I did was just cop it from everybody. Your list is good. Why aren't you performing? It's tough. And I've got a few years on you boys too. So 95, I turned 19 and I enjoyed 95. I didn't go to the game, but I enjoyed it.
Wow.
It's tough, especially for him who's left the room, but I know you're around the corner there, mate. because he's listening and he wants to, I want him to enjoy what I enjoyed as a kid. So, yeah. All I can say is that good luck for Sunday. Unfortunately, we've got a junior football game at 11:30, so we're not going to make it. But I just
Cancel
hope they respond. I just hope they respond for us.
Tell the young fella this is the week. He's got to be there.
I don't know. He doesn't want to go to the games that he doesn't think we're going to win.
Fair.
That hurts.
No.
That does.
It hurts.
Yeah.
So,
It does hurt. And it's tough. I remember being a kid, and you want to see your team winning, and you want to see your team successful. Supporting a Scottish team in the UK. All my mates supported big clubs in England. It was always the B grade league. It's tough, but I mean, there's something I don't know. Maybe it's the POM in me. We link sport to war, as some people will notice in the comments. It's very tribal. It's you versus them. And I think there's something very beautiful about that attracted me as a kid, because it was my people. It was me and my mates. And when you're out there, there's 200,000 people with you. I mean, how good's that? How good's that? That is exciting, man. Do you know what I mean? And history will tell you, people don't believe in the victor. Do you know what I mean? There was a little island we all live on now. Didn't think that they'd beat the Japanese. They did. You know what I mean? They beat Owen Adolf. No one believed in them. You know what I mean? And it'll happen throughout history. You know what I mean? The little guy will always win. We're a great club, and it's a great stepping stone. And hopefully your beautiful son will have a team to be proud of, because that's what he deserves.
well, as long as we come out and we show them that's, and I don't care if we lose. I'd like to win. Even if we lose the right way, and we move the ball quickly, and we I don't know.
We dare to
You know
win.
what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
You know
I get it.
exactly.
I get it.
But
So-
I come to compete, and that's all I want. Just compete on the weekend. So,
Fair. Well, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it.
pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Love you,
Cheers.
Tom.
Peter Vlahos.
Hey, how you going, man? How's it going?
Good, mate. What's happening?
I want to say a few words very quickly. I want fucking redemption. I want redemption on Sunday. I don't care, mate, about, sack the coach, sack this. I don't give a shit. It'll stay until the end of the fucking year. I just want to see them 100%. I want to see them just fucking use the ball well if they can. Unlike all the other shit. Just for one game at least. And then we can worry about next week. We can have our therapy session, all this sort of crap. Just for this game, please. That's all.
It means a lot, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yeah. Love your work, Peter Vlahos.
Thanks, mate. I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you.
Cheers. Love it.
I fucking hate Collingwood.
Same. Those motherfuckers.
Honestly,
motherfuckers. Can't wait for it to turn. It's going to be this week.
I'd rather go on a date with any of my exes, you name, than go to a Collingwood game as a fan of theirs. Fuck me.
I know.
This is it, man. We are at war.
We are at war.
Are at war for this week.
Yeah. All right. Let's recap and bring it all together. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., the selection table on the Pommy and Oz YouTube channel. You don't miss that. 7 p.m. on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel will be the Jumper Punch, and this is their special guest for today.
Hello, Blue Baggers. Welcome to the Jumper Punch. I'm Adrian Gallagher, and 3 times premiership player for Carlton. That'll do. And make sure you tune in for the interview with Rocco and Vince at Tuesday at 7 p.m. Be there.
Perfect. Love that. Love that. That's Tuesday. Wednesday, the besties, next episode of their podcast drops. Ari and Nathan are here for the rest. Wednesday/Thursday, I think the preview will be out. Maybe a little earlier. We'll see. Friday teams, Pommy, for a Sunday game.
Yep, sir.
That's a 5 p.m., I think. That's a 5 p.m. And then Sunday's special. Sunday's a very special day. So the build-up begins. The focus goes away from round 9 and it goes back to round 10, and it goes. We finally get a chance. Like when you strip it all back, we finally get a chance to have another shot at these motherfuckers, and that's what it is. So we've been waiting for this for a while without realizing it, and the moment has come. So I can't wait. Pommy, thanks for getting me up and about today, mate. You fucking got me going. Tell you what, got me going. You got me going.
Mate, the real rivalry is this week. Instead of doing a preview, me and Swoop are actually going to do a live stream playing AFL Evo 23.
Amazing.
A best 2 out of 3. So that's the real game. Well, to make you, anyone who's negative, they're the real 4 points. That's the real. I won't let you down. I won't let you down.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have the best night. Take it easy. Go Blues.
Go Blues.